which matchup would help the Celtics get that banner 19 in the first round?
Two great questions.
Get off to a good start for the champs.
I think they handle either team. But obviously you want to think about who they'd rather play. With this one, it's everything you talk about when it comes to playoffs. You're like, it's Trae Young, the magic he did. And obviously them, along with the first-round draft pick, the Hawks have been doing well while this Magic team is no Jalen Suggs.
Mm-hmm.
The Magic can't shoot, but they can defend. I think in a play-in type tournament, that can get them by. In a 7-game series or a play-in type scenario, as a play-in tournament is, they could get one bye on the Hawks, but I think in a 7-game series, the fact that they just can't respond with threes, they'll get themselves run out of the gym. So I think Magic, I like them against the Hawks. It's because of the defense, even though they're banged up. But so is Atlanta, too. I mean, Jalen Johnson's been done for the season. Jalen Suggs been done for the season for Orlando. But so if you look at the forward of, all right, who would the Celtics then get, with them being the 2 seed? I mean, they handle either team, but to me, I think they would just, again, they would beat the Magic, who can defend better, but neither's elite at defending the perimeter. The Magic can't shoot. The Magic can't score. And that's where the Celtics are going to put up 53s in your face. You need to keep up with them to a clip and at least limit them. They can't limit them, and they can't even make more than 11 threes a night. I'm talking about the Magic here. Either one would be done at 5 and max. I think Magic would be a sweep. I think Hawks would be in 5.
Yeah.
Right? There's like the play-in scenario. Then there's a scenario against the Celtics in 7.
Right.
It's what makes this setup good.
Look, I think they sweep either one. Let me be clear. But I actually think the Hawks are a much easier matchup. One of the reasons is the Magic underachieved this season, and you sort of alluded to this, but they've had a lot of injury issues.
Paolo missed 34 games. Franz was 20 games. Yeah.
And then they were in and out of the lineup. Both of them weren't back at the same time. And then when they were, one would get hurt. Yeah. There was a lot of mismatching. And look, this is a team that came into this season with expectations after having a really good season last year. So I think the Magic are really more dangerous because, and they're banged up now, so I don't know how they're magically going to get healthy. But if, let's just for the sake of conversation, sort of say they play themselves healthy as the series goes on, a couple games in, all of a sudden, that is a tough team. They're very good defensively when healthy.
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of the Pistons. The Pistons were just better this year. The Pistons were last season's Magic. The Magic did what the Pistons did this season, last season.
Yeah.
And they're limited offensively, but they are so tough defensively, and the Magic have underachieved this season. I could see them getting confidence as a series goes on with the Celtics. Whereas the Hawks, it's Trae Young and a bunch of dudes. And I'm not saying Trae Young's not a great player. I'm not saying Trae Young might not light you up a couple games. Maybe they do win one game and it's a gentleman's sweep. But he's really the only issue you have to deal with.
Yeah, with the size of their wings.
Yes. So I actually think both of these guys would be barbecue chicken for the Celtics.
You think Hawks are easier outing?
I think so. Because they're a one-trick pony.
And they can't guard.
And they cannot guard.
And the one thing the Magic do well,
they're tough.
They allow one of the highest three-point percentage to opponents.
Yes.
But they run opponents off the three-point line really well. And the Magic can at least execute there. I just think of when I go back to last season, the playoff run, the only time we saw the Celtics slip up was when they went cold and their opponent got hot. That's the only time that was a Heat. And that was the only time they slipped up in the first 2 rounds.
And the Pacers, right?
Cavs.
Pacers,
they swept.
Yep.
And that's what was their undoing for one game.
Right.
And then they came back and stomped them.
Yeah.
The Hawks can heat up. I don't trust the Magic shooting. So there will be a defense, but the Celtics can defend as well. You're right. Like, again, that's why it's 5 games at most.
At most.
And it'll be the one where it's like game 2 or 3 might just be a fluke.
Right.
I'm not worried.
Are you more worried about the Magic, the Hawks, or Jaylen Brown's knee?
Jaylen Brown's knee.
Same.
But just manage it and get them to the finish line.
My thing is, and this is another topic for another podcast, why did we get to the point where he has to take injections? He should have been resting anyways. And I get,
65 games.
You needed the 65 games for the whole NBA. Bro, he already got paid. He already has a title. What are we doing?
He got finals MVP.
Right. He should have been resting to begin with. Yes. I hate that he's been toughing it out, and now he's taking these. But, again, much like we talked about Abdul Carter at the top of the show, everyone says, oh, no concern. Okay, everyone's saying he'll be fine come playoff time. This isn't a big deal. But I just don't feel like it should have came to this. You should have been resting him to begin with.
And that's on the head coach.
It is, who we give credit to, but
call your guys out.
We got to call them out.
In a way, maybe because there was that drop-off mid-March.
Yeah.
And maybe Missoula, that last time when he only played 22 minutes against the Knicks, maybe Missoula went to him and go, look, you can't move. You're not playing. Shutting you down, get the injections, go.
I guess. Man, I'm looking at the East, and we've talked about this all year long. Are the Cavs this or the Cavs that? Outside of Cleveland,
I'm not afraid
there
of anyone.
is no one, bro.
No.
Knicks, Pacers, Bucks. They're saying Dame may come back. I'm not buying that. Pistons, Magic, Hawks.
Still not afraid. Kuzma? Come on.
No one.
No.
And the Cavs, by the way, if the Cavs are a threat, I'm using air quotes, what's that mean? 6 games? Can they push you to 7? I highly doubt it, personally.
If you go West, Thunder, Rockets, Lakers, Clippers, they can mess around, make it a finals.
Well, West is different.
Yeah.
But in the East,
yeah, I'm not worried.
There's really no one.